Welcome back, everyone, to the deep dive. Today, we're going literally under the house. We're looking at crawl space drainage. This is super important, especially if you're living here in Surrey. We got a lot of our info from a really helpful article on Pacific Blue Mechanical's website. It's called Crawl Space Drainage Services in Surrey, Your Solution.
That's right. And, our goal today is pretty simple. We want to help you understand why keeping that space under your house dry is, well, so critical. It's really about protecting your house, your biggest investment probably, and keeping your family healthy too.
Okay, let's unpack this a bit. Think about when clothes get wet and just sit there, they get that funny smell, right? Well, a wet crawl space, it can kind of do that to your whole home. Our sources mention things like seeing actual water puddles down there, or finding some yucky mold growing, or even just smelling that musty, damp odor starting to spread into your rooms upstairs.
Exactly. And what's really key here is that these aren't just small issues, That wetness, you can actually make the wood under your house swell up. It also kind of rolls out the welcome mat for bugs like termites, things you really don't want. And over time, it can even lead to cracks in your home's foundation.
Wow, okay. So, not just yucky smells then, real structural stuff.
Real structural stuff. So catching these signs early, super important for a healthy home.
Right. So let's flip this around. What are the good things? What happens when you actually fix a wet crawl space, especially thinking about Surrey weather?
The benefits.
Yeah.
There are lots. The big one our sources point to is keeping your foundation safe from water damage. That's foundational, literally. You also get way less humidity down there. And less humidity means
no mold.
Exactly. It stops that mold growth right in its tracks. And thinking bigger picture, like you said, for places like Surrey, where we get a fair bit of rain, good drainage means the air inside your whole house stays cleaner, fresher. Plus, your insulation actually works the way it's supposed to.
Oh, right, because damp insulation doesn't insulate well.
Precisely. It loses its effectiveness. So, dry crawl space, better insulation, means you could actually save money on your heating and cooling bills.
Okay, saving money is always good. What else?
Well, think about selling your house down the road.
Yeah.
A dry, well-maintained crawl space. That makes your house much more attractive to buyers. It can even help it sell faster.
That makes sense. Any idea on, typical costs for this kind of work in Surrey?
Yeah, the article gives a ballpark. Usually you're looking at somewhere between, say, $2,000 to $5,000. But you really have to weigh that against the potential cost of, foundation repairs or serious mold removal later on.
Right, prevention versus a much bigger cure.
Exactly. It saves you much more in the long run, protecting that big investment.
Okay, so wrapping this up then, what's the main takeaway for everyone listening? It sounds like keeping your crawl space dry, particularly here in Surrey, it's not just about dodging problems.
Not at all. It's really a proactive step. You're making your home healthier, definitely stronger, and more valuable too. It benefits you, your family, your wallet.
A healthier, stronger, more valuable home. I like the sound of that.
Which kind of leads to a final thought, doesn't it? Maybe ask yourself, what's one small thing you could do today? Maybe just peek into your crawl space access or check if your gutters are clear. Just one small step to check on that hidden part of your home and make sure it's, doing its job protecting your family and your investment. Something to mull over.